Hello, my name is Jean. I am a knitter. I am currently working through the Master Hand Knitter program. I'm on level 1 through the Knitting Guild Association. I've been tracking my progress, and a lot of you guys have been following along. And I'm getting some really fun comments. Thank you very much for commenting that you are enjoying following this progress. Part of the reason I'm doing this, if I have to report that I'm making progress, I darn well better be actually making progress. And I am. I'm rather happy about that. I am currently doing a practice for swatch number 15 out of the 18 swatches and a mitten. And I am using the Cascade 220 for my sample. I am going to be going through the On Your Way to the Masters articles from Cast On to make sure my cables are up to snuff. I've been, and you saw my sample sweater, my old project sweater. I love doing cables, but I don't know what the criteria is for the Knitters Guild on what makes a cable well done. And so I'm going to have to look at that. But I want to be able to compare a finished swatch of mine to the finished product that they are showing so that I can identify my problems and then go through my reference books to discover what I need to do to correct the problems. You can't correct problems in an imaginary swatch, can you? I knit a sample of the Cascade 220 and I blocked it. I started with the size 6 knitting needle, went to a 7, then to an 8, then to a 9. Now you won't see the thread marks on this particular swatch because I was able to just measure and identify which needle gave me the gauge that I liked best, that was within the range that the Knitting Guild Association requires when you are working towards the masters. So now I have 2 different yarns that I have to identify, but I also was able to get a good bit of blocking done this week. Yay! And so many of my swatches are almost ready to be submitted, or are ready to be submitted. The swatch tag is supposed to have my contact information on one side, and it does, but on the other side it should have the name of the swatch, the number of the swatch, and it should be attached in the upper left corner. This is so they know that you can tell the difference between a cast on and a bind off, and the obverse and reverse, or front and back, of your swatches. I have been keeping track and started to answer some of the questions about the swatches, but what I think is actually going to be the most difficult for me is to write directions on how to complete the increases and the decreases that are required on the swatch information sheets. You have to include directions on how to make one right, make one left, make one 0. You have to include instructions on the SSK and K2 together. And instructions on, it's the SKP decrease. And for the purl 2 together and the slip purl decreases. Wow. But I made 2 swatches for the simple eyelet pattern number 1, which is swatch number 11. Partly because I just wasn't sure that I had been able to correctly follow the directions and maintain tension at the same time. So it was easy just to make another one. And the simple eyelet pattern 2, that's swatch 13 is done, swatch 14 is done, and I'm practicing for swatch 15. Yay! This is good. I've also realized that I only ordered 1 additional color of yarn, which is the butter in the Cascade 220. When I do color work and I do my mitten, I am going to need to have a second contrasting color, and I will probably use either a nice green or a nice blue. I haven't decided yet which. And that means I have to order it and get it coming towards me pretty darn quickly, because the 2 skeins of yarn that I ordered from, I don't even remember the name, my brain is going out, took longer than I had expected anyway to arrive. As in an extra week. Not quite. No, 4 days more than I had thought. I am zipping through this knitting bit at a pretty good clip, but I think I'm going to have to fight a bit to get my directions for completing stitches up to an appropriate standard. Answering the questions, that's not going to be too bad. I've been keeping track of the books, the references that I have been using, so documenting things is not going to be an issue. I have page numbers and publishers and all of that I need. But something tells me trying to write directions in your own words is going to be very, very difficult, because if you are simple, clear, and concise, somebody's already written directions somewhere that are identical. I don't know if I can do it in my own words and not screw it up somehow through using too many words. So that's what's really getting me a little nervous, but I'll figure out something. I know I will. I used my new set of 9-inch circular knitting needles to attack 2 different projects. My feet are very narrow, and that means I also have rather skinny ankles. I can't comfortably knit a sock on a 9-inch circular because my feet aren't that big. However, I also tested them on a Scandinavian colorwork mitten that I had been fighting with, and I am so happy at how easy it is to control the tension for the 2 colors through the circular needle. It just works better. I trust that my tension is right. I've just relaxed on it. I think I might be able to switch back to a 5 needle set, but I also don't need to. And that corner, when you're changing from one needle to another needle, doesn't exist on a circular needle. So I'm thinking the mittens on these 9-inch circulars are going to be a blast, but socks, just not so much. If you really like what I've been talking about and you like hearing about my projects and my progress, please subscribe, hit the like button. Don't be afraid to add a comment. I love comments. And have a wonderful day and keep knitting.